and welcome to Casual Buddhism. I'm your host, Cindy Rasicot, and I'm here in Thailand with Venerable Dhammananda Bhikkhuni at her monastery. Thank you, Venerable Respected Mother. And I would like to talk with you today because it's kind of in the air, this nervousness and stress around COVID. I was recently traveling in the airport and things were very tense. And I sense that this is the way it is kind of all over in the larger context of the world. People were upset. They were some people were arguing with the flight attendants. We had to wait 2 hours because one of the pilots was tested positive for COVID. So we always wondered, can we even make it? So within that context, and I don't think it's just at the airports, I think it's kind of everywhere, it's looming, especially with Omicron. People are anxious and scared, I think because they feel out of control, and I know I do.
Yes.
How do people deal with uncertainty in the face of the ongoing Omicron coronavirus pandemic?
Yes. The key word I just pick up just now is uncertainty. Uncertainty. And because of uncertainty, you feel you cannot, you yourself have lost the control of things around you. You know, we always feel certain, you know, once you have the ticket, you know, you will be boarding the plane. Everything is so certain. You go to that gate, you know, and then you will be able to finally board the plane. All that was, or at least made you feel certain that, of course, you will be boarding the plane. But now with this situation, COVID really brought us to this, this new environment that no, that's not true. You are not controlling. Yes, you are not controlling anymore. And things which you would believe that it is so certain can also become uncertain, like your pilot, for example. You know, I mean, you cross over so many obstacles, but once when you are seated in your plane, you cannot get started because the pilot tested positive. He did not want to be that. You know, he was also so uncertain of his future. He was planning that he was going to fly the flight. You know, all this make us realize that things are not as certain as it seems to us before COVID arrived. It was uncertain like that, you know. It was uncertain like that, but we were made to believe that it is uncertain. It is certain. So this COVID really brought us to this great presence of being uncertain. But the Buddha already told us, 2,600 years ago that things are uncertain because things are dependent. That which is dependent is always uncertain. You know, the fact that we are going to meet this casual Buddhism, we meet every so-and-so, also depend on so many things, you know, which we did not realize. So even our own breathing, we never look at it. We never care for it because we were certain that we breathe in and then we will breathe out. But this breathing in and this breathing out, there is a great dharma, a great teaching, great truth about breathing. Because it is life and death right here at our nostril. Breathing in is life. You expand, you know, your lung expand. And life is always inclusive. Life is always expanding. Life is always smiling. Life is soft. But when you breathe out, exhale. When you exhale, you shrink. You shrink. And that is death. Life and death present itself every moment. But we take it for granted that we are going to breathe in next time without realizing that those who pass away very suddenly, you know, some people just fainted and they never get up again, you know. It all depends on this breathing in, breathing out, and no more breathing in. Do you see how immediate, how how present is this death with us? But yet we did not realize, we did not look at it, we are not careful to really examine the truth that life and death is here. So in Buddhism, they say that, you know, anything that has this duality is not real, is not real. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling is duality. So because it is duality, there is no real existence within this breathing in and breathing out. It is a reminder. It is the truth that is teaching us all the time. Yet, we are not careful enough. We don't, how to say, importance to it. You know, don't have to look far. This uncertainty is with us, with this breathing. So once when we realize that, then the value of life becomes real. We really need to take care of this life. As long as we live, we don't know how long, we will always make our present positive, wholesome, be positive, yes, and wholesome. Be beneficial to yourself, be beneficial to others on our daily basis. You know, we start this morning, I get up, I better take care of myself quickly because I'm going to meet Cindy at 8 o'clock, you know. So I am already projecting what can I be useful to others. But before that, I have to take care of myself first, you know, so that I can have clear brain to talk. You know, I must have good sleep so that I will be bright the next morning to be able to talk to Cindy in this casual Buddhism. So like that, you know, you become much more mindful with our own immediate presence.
And I thank you. And I think I notice within myself that when I become scared, I tend to go into the future. Yes. I tend to try to want to control or plan, yes, or how organize. And I think what you're saying is that is not in being in the present. That is taking me out of that. Is it duality? I'm not sure quite what I mean by duality. I'm sorry, I just lost the internet connection. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't understand when you said duality. I don't think that's the same of our notion of ambiguity. I don't think that's
a duality. Duality is things that always come together. Like there's black, there is white. That is duality. You know, there is life, there is death, there is breathing in, there is breathing out. There is beauty, there is ugly. That is duality. And duality does not have its own independent because it depends on the other.
I see.
You know, black cannot be black unless you compare it with white. You see? Oh, like that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very helpful. So in a sense, every moment that we're interconnected and dependent, we face uncertainty. That's what your teaching is.
Yes, true. Even this casual Buddhism, I have to depend on Cindy. If Cindy does not appear on my screen, we cannot have casual Buddhism, no matter how well I prepared to talk about something big, something great, you know. So it really brings us to the very immediate presence. Suppose if Cindy does not come, that's also fine with me. I don't get really upset, you know, realizing that things has this dependent nature. And when it is dependent nature, you are not so, so mad about it. You know, when something happened, you realize that, it is like that. That person who does not show up, you know, suppose if we are having a meeting, that person does not show up because he also depends on other factors. You know, he is not independent, so to say. You know, sometimes he would arrive late, 2 hours late, and he said, my car broke down. Of course, he depended on his car to be able to bring him here, like that. You know, then you become you forgive easily, understand the other person. He is also dependent on so many other factors. I am also dependent on so many other factors to be sitting here talking to you. Like that, then we are at ease, our mind is at ease. And instead of having so much stress, so much, how to say, this stress is because of expectation. You always expect the perfect one. There is no such thing as the perfect one outside right. yourself, and even within yourself, there is no perfect, so to say, that it will go according to what you plan always. Mm-hmm. So when we have this realization, then you live with the world. You live with the world, and whatever comes, it's always for the best. For the best.
And moving the lens back a little bit, we've been talking about our personal coping with COVID. How has it affected you here in the monastery? What has changed or not changed as a result of COVID?
To confess, in the beginning, the first few weeks when we were really locked down, the gate was closed, we were kind of tittering a bit, what to do. But then we realized that the fact that we don't have visitors now, it is good for us. Then we start planning for our classes, the things that we don't usually have time to do. Now we start doing. I have so many papers, so many articles to finish, to write and to read. Now it's time. And then, this COVID brought us to this online. I realized I could not teach to my students, my Pipanese in other aramas, in other provinces. Now it's time that I better, bring up our technology so that we could be updated with having Zoom meeting, having online, I still teach with the camera. I still teach with the camera. And then we put it online for our Pikunese in other provinces, still waiting for me to teach. Last night I was reading, they wanted me to talk about that certain issue. Oh, now they give me homework and I'm very happy. Even though I may not have class, but it is virtual meeting. I will still be meeting them. I will still be addressing the questions that they are asking, like that, But this is because of COVID. That's why we have to upgrade ourselves technically with that to catch up with the world.
And you feel that doing virtual doesn't inhibit you in any way? You're still able, I sense that about you. You're still able to be very present. It doesn't impede you in any way.
No. For me, I when I'm talking to you, whether I'm talking to you, Cindy, in person, or talking to you on screen, I did not have the difference. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Yes, I have no problem. In fact, as I grow older, traveling will be limiting. With my limitation, traveling will be less and less. So I am grateful that I can now teach online so that I could be present. Imagine I could be present in one country in the morning and I could be present teaching in another country in the evening. That is something that I could not do previously, but because of this Zoom meeting, because of this online technique, it allows me to be with you at different places in a short time.
Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so much for today. And I will be here with you for the next another 2 sessions. And we will have guests in the following weeks. And I look forward to speaking to you again. Thank you.
It's okay. Bye-bye.